Welcome to another episode of Hacks and Hobbies. In this episode, we'll talk about the biology of the honeybee colony. A honeybee colony is an organ. It is an organism that is unique among social animals and social insects. The same goes for ants of different sorts. Um, and what's interesting about a honeybee colony is that the well-being of the entire colony is the primary purpose or primary target, primary what do you call it? The reason for survival. So all of the honeybees work together to keep the well-being of the colony the primary purpose. They promote colony genetics throughout, and all of the worker bees only work for the good of the colony. So not one bee will worry about itself. If a bee dies, it is fine as long as it can protect the entire colony. And that is one of the reasons why when a honeybee attacks you or stings you, the entire stinger organ comes out of its body and it kills the bee, is because that organ then alerts other bees to bring the attack to the assailant. Some of the integral part of the honeybee colony is drones. They fertilize the queen and increase the colony morale. There's the queens. They lay the eggs and generate the cohesion between other bees. They also release pheromones that all other bees then can relate to and follow the authority of the queen bee. The workers are the worker bees. These are the females, and these are colony leaders. They do labor and they do the chores. And all of the work is shared between all of these integral part of the colony. Let's take a look at the queen. Now, queen bee has her name as a queen, but in an ideal situation, you would think that the queen orders around all of the workers. But typically, a queen is simply an egg-laying machine, keeping all of the worker bees together by her pheromones and by laying eggs in the available spaces that the worker bees then create. A queen bee is not the head of the colony. The pheromones enable the queen bee to connect and the other worker bees to each other, creating cohesion and a B2B communication, a B2B communication, not business to business communication, a bee insect to a bee communication. Usually we will mark our queens to make sure what year the queen was born. Queens live anywhere from 2 to 7 years, depending on how good the worker bees are keeping it and eating food. It also helps to spotting a queen when you're looking through and doing an inspection, and it also aids in identification for the lineage of the queen. Where is this queen coming from? Which lineage, etc. So queen bees, simply put, are egg-laying machines, help the colony stay together, and queen bees also, they have an integral part when they start off. A queen bee can start off a colony, but only if the workers will accept this queen. Anytime a queen bee dies or is coming to end of life, the worker bees work towards creating additional queen bees, so then they would take over the hive and the colony. Let's take a look at the workers. The workers, also known as worker bees or the female bees. These are the heart and soul of the colony. They basically do all of the chores, all of the work in a colony. It's amazing. Like literally, from the day they're born, they perform endless amounts of work till the day they die. So here's some of the things that they do. They'll do house cleaning. They'll clean house. When a new bee is born and come out of its cell, they clean out their cell, ready for the next egg being laid by the queen bee. Brood care. They care for the brood, the eggs, larvae, etc., by generating royal jelly and bringing brood food. They're also attending to the queen, helping her go to places where she can then go and lay eggs. They are also the colony defense, not the drones, it's the worker bees that are colony defense. They also go out in the field and forage for nectar, pollen, and all of the things that the colony needs. They live for 6 weeks in the summer, and they live from 3 to 5 months in the winter, depending on how long these winters might be or how many bees are needed. The workers themselves collectively decide when to swarm, when a queen needs replacement, when to remove the drones, what type of foraging needs are needed, and what type of population needs are there, as well as security needs. What does it mean by population needs? They don't control population. Well, they're the ones who will feed enough food to the queen so the queen can then go around laying eggs, and they're the ones that stop the queen from laying eggs. So population needs, that's how they control the population. The workers, they communicate by scent, which is pheromone. They touch each other. Sound, they create sound, as well as vision. They will communicate for feeding, nectar transfer, they'll even do begging, identification of other bees, verification of nectar quality, as well as transferring pheromones. So the worker bees do the brunt of all of the work needed in the colony. It's amazing. It's simply amazing. To differentiate drones from worker bees, a couple of things to note is one, they have larger eyes. Drone cells are larger because drones are larger. They're larger by a little bit. Drone cells are about 5 millimeters, whereas worker bee cells are 4 millimeters in diameter. They have a very keen eyesight. They're big and they're fast. but they have no stingers. They contribute to colony morale, meaning they contribute to the colony morale, bringing in, what are they bringing in? It's just good to have drones around, all right? There's a special drone congregation area where the drones just hang out and make jokes. I've got no bee jokes right now, so drone walks into a colony and say, "Hey, what's cooking?" Just kidding. So yeah, the drones have very essential need. They are the reproduction of the colony. Without drones, we will not have queens, and it is necessary to have drones. Fun fact: when a queen dies, the worker bees immediately start laying eggs because they need to extend the livelihood of the DNA. So, and all worker bees that lay eggs become drones because they are unfertilized eggs. Only queen bees have the ability to lay fertilized eggs. Oh, another fun fact: once worker bees start laying eggs, they no longer have the ability to fly. So if you find a hive with lots of eggs in single cells, well, that whole set is gone. You can just basically throw out those beads, start over. All right, let's check out reproduction, and how that works in a colony. The reproduction of the colony. It all starts with queen cells. When worker bees create queen cells, the worker bees know, all right, queen's gonna lay an egg in here. We're gonna start feeding it royal jelly on the double. And after 14 days, after 21 days, after 14 days, a queen emerges. Since the cells are fed, the larvae are fed royal jelly from the beginning of their life, the larvae have a much shorter period to become queen bees. They're getting a ton of protein, so in 14 days, they come out and they're queen bees. When a queen bee emerges, it takes them about 5 to 7 days to mature. And what they do is they go on mating flights with the two DCAs, the drone congregation areas. And they will mate with 15 to 20 drones. And once they mate with them, they come back and start their colony. Some of the reasons why they mate with 7 to 20 drones is because it ensures the genetic diversity. The drones, every time a drone egg is laid, or when they mate with a drone, it's a different genetic collection or connection. Hence, they mate with several drones. And that's one of the other reasons why worker bees are called half sisters, because they're not a full sister. You don't know which drone sperm was used to fertilize that baby egg. The sperm is stored for the life of the queen. and the queen keeps lots of eggs in her body. All right, let's check out the division of labor by age. So the division of labor based on their age. The worker bees in summer last for about 45 days. 45 days, maybe a little longer, depending on the quality of food that they get to consume. From the day they are born, for the first 3 days, they are ghost bees. They're super white, and they only have one duty: to clean out the cells of other bees that have come out, clean them out, and get them ready for the queens to lay the eggs. Between 3 to 16 days, they are nurse bees, where they're feeding, they're tending to the larva, they're creating royal jelly, they're tending to the queen, and general hive maintenance, and this time they're also creating wax. So they can build the comb, they can cap the cells, and they can technically take care of the beehive in that manner. 10 to 21 days, once they've done the other duties, they're pretty old. They can now handle security detail, and you have the security bees watching out for who's coming in, who's going out. Between 12 to 18 days, they're also taking care of the ventilation of the hive, making sure that the hive is well ventilated, pushing air around. It also helps them to evaporate the nectar and make that into honey. They are also nectar receivers between 12 to 21 days. So all the nectar that's coming from the outside through the forager bees, they receive that nectar and place it where it needs to go. They're bringing in, so from 21 days and on, from 21 to 45 days, the bees become field bees or foragers. They're bringing nectar for the hive. They're bringing water for the colony. They're bringing in pollen and propolis for gluing things together. So, lots of good stuff going on. Hardworking forager bees. So now these are the summer bees, 45 days long. In the winter time, they live for a lot longer, up to 160 days, or up to 5 months. So now, we've already know what tasks they perform, but the only difference is that they perform those same tasks, but over a longer period of time. They are nurse bees for 45 days. They're basically nursing, taking care of other larvae being laid. For 70 to 90 days, they are simply housekeeping, making sure everything is good. And what that means is that they're essentially keeping the weather, the temperature of the hive nice and warm. And then for up to 80 days, they will keep doing extended housekeeping. For 60 days, past the 110-day mark, they become the early scouts and foragers. So they'll go out and forage for early springtime. They'll bring in all of this stuff. They are definitely more flexible than summer bees and approximate maturation. The maturation depends on the needs of the colony. Again, the winter bees are basically, their duty is to keep the hive warm, feed the larva, and take care of that. The population changes between summer bees and winter bees is quite drastic. If, let's say, you have 100,000 bees in the summer, in the winter that number drops down to barely 10,000 to 20,000. And again, the population rises again from March to July for summer bees, and then starts declining in September to a low population, and through winter the population decreases. Anyhow, so that is the population of the colony, the division of labor, and all of these topics. It's the dynamics of the biology of the colony. In our next episode, we will talk about the developmental stages from egg all the way to adult bees, and the different time periods that it takes for different bees. Thanks for listening. Thank you so much for taking a listen to Hacks and Hobbies, where we talk about hacks and hobbies, and currently talking about bees and getting you the information necessary to understand how a bee behaves in a colony. So send us a message if you have any questions. We are on Anchor.fm, and I am on Anchor.fm. You can send me a message here, ask a question, and we can include it in our next episode. Thank you very much. Have an awesome